Hi there. So any keen wildlife gardeners among you will know that you don't use a hedge strimmer or a lawnmower or a weed whacker strimmer, whatever you want to call them, too much. But I've got a pathway up here that's overgrown, so I do need to do some maintenance on it. However, my lawnmower, which was in itself recycled, has bit the bullet completely and has gone, so I'm left with my old strimmer that I had in the shed, which is here. And that's been in there for 12 years unused, and because of that we got some major problems on it. I had to replace the fuel lines underneath, just above the fuel tank there, and clean the spark plug off in the top, and that grommet actually just there was a nightmare. I couldn't find it anywhere online. It's only a 15mm hole, as the ones online were 18mm, so I've had to do some work on that with super glue. Not perfect, I grant you, but that's all I could do just to get that in. So it's all maintained now. I put a bit of fuel and 2-stroke oil mixture inside and just turned it over without starting it, just to make sure everything was loose and nothing was seized up in there. So moving down to the other end, you can see here I've got a dual line bump head here. Bump head means that when you want to release a bit more string, about an inch the mechanism allows each time, you tap it on the ground and there's a spring mechanism underneath here with that screw bit here. Unfortunately I lost the spring years ago, so I've had to make one myself, but it seems to be working okay. The actual string is about 2 or 3mm that I have on this, but it's not biodegradable, and I don't like using anything that breaks off into the ground and the environment at the rate that this string does. When you use it, you can go through 10 feet easily, and then that's all broken bits in your garden and in the environment. So instead of using that, I managed to find online something I was very excited about. This bio trim, it's called, which is biodegradable trim. It even comes in a recycled packaging, which is really good, and I was really pleased to find this. It costs about £6.50, so a little bit more expensive than perhaps you'd pay for normal string, but you know, it's far more responsible to use, and it isn't leaving all that rubbish in the environment, which is fantastic. So let's have a look at that head in more detail. So what I've done is I've cut about 10 feet off of this wire, and at the halfway mark just bent it over so I know where it is, and also it's going to catch on the little slot that's inside the head there. So that's the 10 feet approximately of wire. On these bump heads you've got normally got a little screw underneath, which you undo, and you'll be able to see the makeshift spring that I've made here. Not particularly brilliant, but it does the job, just made out a bit of fence wire. This is your head here, and inside you can see the dual string mechanism, and you've got 2 channels here, obviously one for each of the 2 guide holes here, and there should be on the top here a directional indicator to which way to wind the cord. So you can see there the arrow is here, and you've got wind cord written there. You've got it on the outside as well, so you can't really make a mistake. So obviously there's your notch there. You place your wire over the notch like so, and then just wind round. I'm just going to spend a couple of seconds getting rid of the old wire. You can see where the spring's broken, that I've had to just tie a knot in it, but you wouldn't normally need to do that. I'll just get rid of that now. Here's the head again with the string removed. You can see clearer now that little slot there, which is where the midpoint of the string goes, and then following the arrow, in this case I'll be winding it clockwise onto there. And then what you plan to do is at the end, as you get towards the end, the 2 loose ends of each side of the string you put opposite here, you put them in here, and it helps you when you're aligning the head back in. It just helps you positioning it while you do it, otherwise it just unravel, and that's happened to me a couple of times already. So we'll try again now. So just find the slot here, there. So you can see there I've just put it in the slot, keeping it nice and tight, and as you wind just make sure that you're keeping the strings as neat as possible in there, because it just helps it. Obviously the neater you put it on, the easier it is for the mechanism to disperse the string when you need it. And you'll have a head that's in better condition than mine. I mean, that man-made spring is not brilliant, but I guess what I'll have to do is, if it doesn't bump and release, I'll just manually turn the head when I need the string. I'm only going to be using it for a couple of hours this year, and that'll be it, done again. And you just reposition my hands here. There you go. So yeah, keep the string nice and tight and as neat as you can. And the next bit can be a bit tricky, because that's the part where it can unravel for you. And this recycled string here, sorry, the biodegradable string, is only 2 mil, and I think the stuff that I had in there was about 2.5, maybe 3. So it might be that these notches aren't designed for this, but we will try. Let's put that, yeah, you can see they're a little bit loose. So I'm gonna have to put my finger over that, and put my finger over that one there. There you go. So that's what you want to end up with. And then the tricky part now is to get these, put one in there and turn it round. I've got a little bit of tape on there, that's all right. Turn the head so that that side's ready, and then grab the other side and put it through the other hole like that, and then pull that through. And then, as you can see there, I've got both in the holes, and then just push the head in like so, and then you can turn it until it clips in, and there you go. That's your head all ready to go. Put on the man-made spring, which in itself was a feat, because I remember doing this because I had to wind the spring counterintuitively to how you'd normally do a spring, because otherwise when I screwed it on, the end of the spring was catching in these holes, so that was a nightmare. So get your spring in there and then push that there, ready to go. Whole lot goes on this sprocket here. There we go, it goes on, there you go, and then just wind her up and you're good to go. Sorry, realise I'm out of frame here, if you can see that. There you go. That's it, done. So that's it, all good to go. I hope you that was of some help to you and useful. But please, if you are using a strimmer, please bear in mind the biodegradable string, because I imagine there's so much of this laying in the world, just sitting in the ground, little tiny chunks of strimmer wire that don't necessarily need to be there if you can buy this stuff, which I was really surprised to find, but really pleased. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll speak to you soon.